Greetings, viewers and fast learners. I'm so super excited, actually beyond excited, to host Ernest today. Ernest is a leadership coach, and he has been able to do a lot in our generation. He has been there 20 years and counting, being able to do what he is able to do best, helping many other people achieve their leadership skills, and not only achieving that, being able to lead self, help one being able to lead self. Thank you for checking in. Yes, at Abundance Fastlane, as we have always told you, abundance is a natural state for you. Resist the rat race by all means. Welcome, Ernest. And as you meet the fast learners, they are ready and they are really waiting to hear from you. Maybe you would tell them who you are and what I might have missed out as I share your slides.
Well, okay, thank you. So I can introduce myself. My name is Ernest Nyingi. I'm definitely glad to be here. Just support the work the mother is doing, also just sharing value. So I am a coach. I'm what is called an execution coach. Execution coaches are those people who like to help individuals who make goals at the beginning of the month, but they struggle to fulfill them by the end of the month, by the end of the year. So just supporting individuals and organizations to fulfill their assignments, their vision, and especially just helping leaders as well, because we realize that organizations are led by great leaders. So if those leaders do not seem to have their vision clear, they're just helping them figure out what they need to be able to do. And then secondly, I'm a legacy leadership consultant, which basically means I encourage and I work with the leaders to make a difference. I'm a believer. In fact, my vision is to see three things as I work with individuals and organizations, to see them fulfill their vision in terms of the success they want, make sure we have effective leaders, and that we also leave a legacy. That would be a bit of an introduction to myself. I have been working with the leaders and people, basically, the last 20 years, just serving in the space of leaders. I am also a coach with the Fuzu. I'm a career coach, just helping also in that place, helping leaders. Yep. So in a nutshell, that is me.
Wow, thank you so much, Ernest.
Yep.
That is quite cool. 20 years and doing all that and seeing many people behind you, it's quite encouraging. So fast learners, when you lead self, when you're not able to lead self, you live to imagine that money is what is preventing you to enjoy life. You're not able to help the community. You are not able to create your goals. You're not able to meet other people who can help you walk through life. You're not able to improve on yourself, and generally you don't really enjoy much. That is before you get to know how to lead self. But after you get to learn how to lead self, after you're able to know how to set your own goals, and long term in this case, life goals, you're able to know that you can help the community with or without money. After you're able to know, you need to know how to network and meet people who are above you to help to coach you and to work with you, and people who are below you so that you're able to impact what you've been able to learn. That way you'll be able to innovate very easily and be able to improve yourself. And every other time you improve yourself, you can be sure you go to the next level by default. Ernest, thank you for introducing yourself. And as you had highlighted, you do the coaching, the one-on-one, and the many. Then you do it for many people. How do you offer your solution? Maybe my people would want to know.
Okay, so in a nutshell, as I said, my vision is to transform professionals and businesses in success, leadership, and legacy. I want to be able to help both individuals and also organizations. So a couple of things that I do. One is I like there's something I call personal and people leadership. And this idea is individuals who want to make a difference have a program that I call L.I.V.E. And the idea of L.I.V.E. is helping people to figure out their leadership, help people to figure out their impact, help people to figure out their vision, and also people figure out their execution. A lot of individuals actually do not make a difference because they don't seem to know how to design their lives for success. And so I get to help individuals. Once you sort L.I.V.E., basically you're able to move, whether on an individual level or also on an organizational level. But then beyond that, there's also what I call people leadership. And in here, we are thinking about people who are in a position of authority and they want to make a difference, but then they do not know what they need to do. So I run a program I call ACT. ACT is basically ACT, an acronym. A is for authority. And the idea is helping individuals learn, how do I exercise my powers given either in the position I run, in terms of with authenticity. How do I make that as a difference? Then C is competence, where how can I be good at what I do so that as I'm leading a team, they can also make a difference out there. As a leader, you need to be able to model. So you must be leading from your strengths, so to say. And then you have teamwork. Every leader who works with a team must figure out what are the dynamics of working with a team. In fact, a lot of people talk about teamwork. For me, I like to talk about teamwork, helping individuals value themselves so that they can be able to contribute to a team. And then success picture. If an individual, a team leader is leading a team, but they haven't figured out how to help these individuals make a difference, everyone works in an organization or in a business because there's a success they have in mind. So helping a leader recreate that success picture so that those individuals within that team can be able to achieve. And that's what I do in the personal people leadership. But I also get to do career coaching. This is where I like to help individuals, either in terms of their purposefulness, in terms of their performance, people who want to feel that they want to grow in their career and do better, get what I call self-directed learning habits. How do you help an individual move from, their level of career, from one position to the other? But then secondly, there are also people who want to be aware about who they are. They want to clarify their goals. They want to maximize their potential. I get to, support them so that then they can achieve at a higher level. For there are people who are also leaders, and for them, they want to make sure that their teams function, or some of leaders want to make a transition. I get to help them to be able to do that as well.
Wow, thank you so much, Coach. As an individual, you hear Coach is there for you. As a company, you hear Coach is for you. As a startup, Coach is there for you. I don't know what else you'd be looking forward to. Yeah, Coach encourages all of us to live like to live a legacy, live like legacy leadership. And some of the questions, the hard questions he asked are are you living like a legacy leader? Maybe what you can ask the way you ask us.
Okay. So in a nutshell here, when I talk about L.I.V.E, this is actually a program. I did a research with around 4,000 people. And my goal was to figure out what makes people do better, what makes people not do better. And my goal with this conversation was to just assess what would make people make a difference. And I went across all ages. I was working with leaders, I was working with individuals, I was working with young people, and I came up with what I call L.I.V.E. So L.I.V.E is L, leadership, I, impact, V, vision, and E, execution. And on L, basically, every person wants to be functional and effective. Everyone is seeking, I want to be functional, I want to make a difference, and not even externally, internally. And so I get to help individuals to figure out, how do you become a functional leader? What does that look like? For example, if I wake up in the morning and I'm not fulfilling my goals, then I have a problem. I'm not directing myself, I'm not leading myself, I'm not functional. It's a gap. I get to help people figure out what does that look like, both personal leadership, professional leadership, and also finally, what I call people leadership. Because without that space being clear, then there's a challenge. The number two is impact. And the idea of impact is everyone wants to make a difference. And the impact leads to legacy. And the idea here is, where am I making a difference where I am in the family? Because it's not just about your workplace. In your own life, are you creating an impact? For example, are you learning? Are you growing? Are you making changes? Are you exploring your potential? And then also, are you also doing it within the family setting, within your friendships, within the place where you work? Helping individuals figure out, how do I impact deliberately? Then we have V, which is vision. And the idea of vision here is to clarify your personal vision and values. Everyone is always operating. Like, for example, I always like to give an example. If I told you, Martha, let's go, one of the questions you're going to ask me is, where are we going to go?
True.
right? So
True.
for me, once you clarify where you want to go, then we help you direct. There's something we call developing a practical roadmap, where if I am here and I want to go to Nakuru, I should be on Waiaki Way. You know, I should be going towards Naivasha then to get to. If you found me on Mombasa Road, going down towards Machakos, or you found me on Thika Road, then there's a problem with my direction. So helping individuals to clarify exactly where they want to be, and then after they clarify, then helping them develop a roadmap of how to get there. And that's what we call clarifying your personal vision and values. There's a way in which you want people to see you. Are they seeing you the same way? And then execution. Every year, Martha, people make goals at the beginning of the year. Individuals, organizations, they make goals. The problem is this: by the time they are done March, by the time they're done March, they have not fulfilled their goals. They are done, they are tired, or they are demotivated, there are all those challenges. So I get to help individuals to develop what I call executing your goals practically. And this basically means moving from a space of saying, I am going to do certain things, to practically doing them. Some people struggle because, for example, of excuses. Some people struggle because, they are depending their goals on other people. So we get to deal with all the challenges that individuals face that stop them from maximizing who they are. And that's actually the L.I.V.E program. We do it for individuals who are starting up in life or career. We call it entry level, and then we call it basic L.I.V.E. But then we also do it for people who are in mid-level management, people who are a supervisor or someone who has between 5 to 10 years experience. But then we also do it for executives, people who have been leading for a long time and they feel they want to get more impact and influence. In a nutshell, that's L.I.V.E for us.
Wow, that's so great. We need to live and enjoy life in abundance. Thank you, Coach. You've always encouraged us to as on the legacy roadmap. If you can highlight to us the legacy roadmap and the 5 questions that one needs to process before now we come to your class.
Okay, so in this conversation, basically what we try to do, we look at the same conversation that we are calling L.I.V.E. That is leadership, impact, vision, execution. But as we look at that, the first question everyone needs to ask, actually I encourage people every month to ask themselves, if not every quarter, what is my success picture on a personal level, on a professional level? And is it becoming a reality? You see, it's one thing to say I want to become successful. But on a personal level, what does success look like? On a professional level, what does success look like? On a people level, what does success look like? And that idea of success, is it becoming a reality? Because once it's not becoming a reality, then we have a big challenge. But then once we have now sorted the idea of your success picture on a personal level or on your organization or your business, then we come and ask the first question, the leadership question. Am I functional and effective? As I'm running my life, am I functional? Am I effective? Am I making a difference? On a people level, if I'm leading people, am I making a difference? On my professional life or my business life, am I effective? Am I functional? Am I operating at my best? Am I fulfilling, the idea of my potential? Am I exploiting it? What am I doing? And then you come to the impact question. Am I making a difference practically? Are there people who can look at my life and say, because of you, my life has been changed? In your family level, on a personal level, in your relationships, how well are you making a difference? But then we also have vision. Am I getting clear of my what, my why, and how? Remember, as we said, if I am going to go to Nakuru, I must ask myself, by the way, where am I going? What am I supposed to do here? What's my big deal? Nakuru is a big picture. That's a vision. But then, why am I going to Nakuru? Am I going for fun? Am I going for pleasure? Am I going because of a business deal? The why question usually creates discipline and motivation. And most people can tell you they do things, but you ask them why, they do not know. We help an individual answer, why am I doing this thing? And then, how are you doing it? In our case, if it's Nakuru we are going to use a motorbike? Are we going to walk? Are we going to use a train? Are we going to fly? How are you going to get that done? If in a vision or in your life, you don't have a clear what, why, and how, you're going to struggle to fulfill it. And then finally, am I accomplishing towards excellence? There are people who will fulfill, and by the end of the year, they have hit 30% of their goals. Is that the best you could have done? Are you accomplishing towards excellence? If you look at your personal life, the way you do things. In fact, this is funny, Martha.
Yes.
Individuals care more about their workplace because there's pressure. Like they perform, they have, doing very well, their scorecard, perfect. Targets were given perfect. Then you ask them on a personal level, are you hitting your personal goals? Do your health goal, your wealth goal, your financial goal, are you able to hit that target? And most people will tell your social goal, your family goal, your marriage goal. Are you hitting those things? Are you doing the best you can in those places? Are you leading? Are you impacting? Is your vision clear? Is your execution? For most people, that space is usually the problem. And there's a quote I like to say, imagine everyone is a tank. If the tank is full of water, it is full of water. That water can supply, for the toilet, for washing, for drinking, for everything else. But if that tank is empty, you can be sure there's going to be a struggle. So for most people, they feel in their professional life, their business, but they never really feel themselves. So by helping you sort your personal success picture and sort your life, you'll be able to have the energy to be able to make a difference in all your life areas. In a nutshell, that's what we are trying to say. Then we can come to professional L.I.V.E and say, hey, am I leading in my space? Am I functioning effective? Am I impacting? Am I making a difference where I work, in the business I do? Is my vision clear? Do I know my what, why, and how? And then finally, am I accomplishing towards excellence professionally? In a nutshell, that's what we are trying to do there.
Wow. Thank you so much. The roadmap is so clear. And once you have a clear roadmap, I think walking that road will not be very confusing, as you've always taught us. Thank you. Thank you so much. So here is my success leadership journey. How do I feel proud that I've walked the journey? I've walked the talk, and now I'm taking the journey.
Okay. So this is actually very easy. So we've already talked about your success picture. The idea here is, if you are able to live, you're able to lead well, you impact, to clarify vision and to execute, there's what I call your successful leadership journey. It's like your progress journey. As I said, if I left here to go to Nakuru, and 2 hours later you call me and you ask me where, you'd expect me at least to have passed through Naivasha. But then if you call me and I tell you I am still or in Limuru, then there's a problem with my speed. Either I'm actually maybe walking or I've had a car breakdown. If an individual is supposed to be successful in their leadership, they must sort 4 areas, and we call them progress areas. Number one, you must have personal progress. Without personal progress, even if you succeeded in everything else, you will still have lost, because the person that needs to be filled, who I call the tank, is you. And you must figure out, am I making a progress individual? Which means you must know where you are vis-a-vis where you want to go. But then secondly, you work in an organization. Your professional life is in a space, or your business is in a space. And so we check in terms of how are you progressing organizationally. Have you moved in the last 2 years from one position to the other? Or are you stuck at the same place? Do they call you strategic? Have you discovered what I call your strengths? Because the things that will move you to that next level are your strengths. So being able to also progress organizationally, where you're being invited into spaces. I say, if you're in career, and you stayed in one place for 5 years and there's no progress, then there's a problem. In fact, within 2 years, you should either add a responsibility or put you in a more strategic space. And they actually teach people how to actually do that. But then leadership, and I separate organizational progress and leadership progress, because make a joke and say, lazima ujitume. By the way, this thing is about, you must make sure you're placing yourself strategically, you're leading, you're hitting those assignments. In fact, I usually say, if you're not stewarding well, if your performance is not working, if you are not having personal growth, if your professions and your relationships are not functional, if you're not maximizing maturity, you're not going to lead. Progressively, you will not progress in your leadership without some of those things. And so we are trying to check as well, how are you leading? Are you making a difference there? And leadership progress is a key thing. And then finally, business. The organization where you work does not require more than 10 hours of your day, which means if you spend 10 hours working, you should have around 5 to 6 hours doing something, using your strengths, or your business. And the idea here is it could be a consultancy. There are other gifts you have that are not needed between an 8 to 5 job. What are you doing there? You can literally utilize your key competencies to do business. And the business could be you adding value with your strengths beyond work. People get into crises where they are no longer employed and they stop utilizing their competencies. We call it business progress. You must also make sure that you're also making a difference there. But then most people will ask me how. So when we journey with you as an individual in those 4 areas, you're going to check what I call the 4 Ps. The number 1, we check personal progress. What is the purpose? Why do you want to progress on a personal level? And then we go to the second question, what is your plan? How are you planning to progress there? You can say, hey, I have 10 things if I did, I'll fulfill my purpose of personal progress. Let me even use an example with the leadership or business, or maybe profession. Professionally, I want to be able to have moved to this place. I am in this workplace, like in my case, with my vision to transform businesses and individuals. I want to make sure that wherever I am, businesses are transformed, are making a difference in their lives, things are working well. That's what I feel is my, is my core. But then I can now come and ask myself, how am I helping professionals and businesses? I'm helping them. My plan is help them in their success, help them in their leadership, and help them in their legacy. That's my plan. So I've moved from purpose to planning. But then out of these 3 things, where am I going to start? Is it success? Is it leadership? Is it legacy? And for me, it always begins with success. Once I help you figure out your success picture, that's my priority, because if I can get people understand the success they want, whether I give them a roadmap or not, at least they can see the big picture. But then we now to come to productivity, where we come and say, vis-a-vis where I am, where I want to go, where am I? Am I being productive? In my case, I'll check. That's why I use the acronym L.I.V.E, where I check productivity. For you to be able to be successful, must begin with your leadership, your impact, your vision, your execution. If it is people leadership, it must be in your authority, your competence, your teamwork, and your success. Notice, very clear productivity areas I assess so that I can be able to hit. But then, individually, by the end of the day, you should come and say, I'm doing very well in these areas, and these are the areas I need to make sure I'm growing. And those are the 2 things now. We keep improving the great areas and the growth areas so that to make you productive, because you already have set out priorities, because you already have a plan, and because by the end of the day, you have a purpose. And that's what I'm trying to do in terms of, so every individual must make sure they are progressing in those 4 areas.
Wow, thank you so much, Coach. I'm sure the first learners and the viewers watching this video, they'll want to rush to you and subscribe to the live program, because for sure it's life-changing. It creates one get that impact and get that fulfilled, fun, and enjoyable life. Thank you so much. I think that's what the time we had for. You are concluding remarks as we go.
Okay, my concluding remarks. First of all, thank you, Mother, for inviting me to this platform to be able to challenge people to live better, as if they are, for their own personal growth, and also to be able to be productive. My final comment is this, is everyone must do their own growing, no matter how tall their grandfather is. You have a personal responsibility to grow in those specific areas in your leadership, impact, vision, execution, because your purpose and your future need it. If you're not growing there, you're going to be an empty tank. And when people will open and they want to fill in water, they are not going to have. But if you work on those areas, you'll make yourself successful. And because of your success, you will be succeeding, you'll be able to lead effectively, and you will make a difference. And it's up to you. So if you are there and you're thinking, hey, where do I start? Let's have a conversation. I'm sure Mother can share my number.
Sure. Thank you so much, Coach, even for coming. We really appreciate having you and putting that challenge in us. That is a personal responsibility. No one else will come and push you or make you do what you need to do for yourself. So, team, let's push ourselves. Let's take that responsibility, and more so that you're able to be impactful. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.